Hey, what is up, guys? Hey, what is up, guys? It is Raymond James. Today, I'm doing a video on a question or statements I've been getting on my Instagram. If you don't follow my Instagram, I post constant things about my transition, like a year ago today, and my T-shots. I do post videos of my T-shots and voice updates. And a couple days ago, I actually hit 1 month on testosterone. Woo. I'm Raymond James, and this is my voice pre-T. I'm Raymond James, and this is my voice exactly 1 month on testosterone. And also, it's blizzarding outside. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, you should probably go do that, because you want updates, I got updates. Every time I post something around my transition, I always get comments or statements where people are like, I want to start T, but I'm afraid of needles. And that's what's stopping me, or something like that. So I'm going in depth about death. I'm going in depth. I don't even fucking know what to say. By the way, if you hear like wind in the background, we're currently having a snowstorm, and I am not wearing pants. I just got home from work, so I wanted to relax and take off my pants. Taking a needle in your leg once a month is not that big of a deal. And I know people with anxiety around needles. I get that. I used to have a huge fear of needles. Whenever I get like a shot, I'd freak out. Side effects. Oh my god, they're gonna kill me. That's how I usually were. That's how I usually am. They tell me the side effects, I get the shot, and I freak out because I think I'm gonna get all those side effects and I'm gonna die. So, I'm gonna describe T-shots and other ways you can actually take T without the shot. First of all, T-shots. Over time, in my opinion, if you truly want to transition, you will rather take the fear than being stuck in your own body. And as you get older and more legal to take testosterone, such as if your parents don't let you when you're 18, you will probably get over the fear because, you know, we get shots every year unless you're like anti-vax, and I'm so sorry. Even if you do get T-shots, the lady, when you first take your T-shot, usually always gives you your first testosterone shot. It is regulated. They show you how, and they show you how much you're supposed to take, and they usually have you tested out on some fake leg or whatever. And even if you're not comfortable with your family member or someone close to you or yourself giving you a shot, they do give you the option of taking it into a clinic where you can get it done with a professional do it for you. My mom currently does my testosterone shots, but when I do go get my blood checked in next month, actually, I am hoping to learn to do it by myself because my mom doing it is quite stressful. And those who are one like me who's scared of side effects, I'm gonna go down to business about side effects. Testosterone doesn't have many side effects. Usually when you start T, again, like I said in my last video, it does cause a chemical imbalance in your brain where you can be more mood swingy, more sensitive to things, but again, this does not happen to anyone. Another thing that happens is blood clots. This only happens if you have too much testosterone in your system for what you're too used to. This is why the nurse or the doctor gives you a certain amount that you can have, and they usually start you off at the lowest dose you can have for your height and body weight. And even though you are at the lowest dose, in a few months they do blood checkup and they make sure you're okay. This is only because testosterone actually can increase your blood. This is only because testosterone can increase your red. Oh my god. This is only because testosterone can increase your red blood count. And if you have too much red blood cells, I am doing terrible today. Having too much Having too much of those red celly boys can cause blood clotting. This is what happens. This is usually what happens when people have a stroke or a heart attack, is because their cells are too much for their little bodies. But the doctor always gives you the right amount, and even if you do get your blood checked and it is too high, they will lower that dose. It may make your process slower, but then again, taking way too much that the doctor prescribes for you can actually slow down your process and even more. Your body is not used to that. So much testosterone, if you take way too much that you're not supposed to have, will actually take the amount you're supposed to have, and then will take the extra amount you injected into your body and turn it into estrogen. This will reverse whatever the hell testosterone is doing for your body, and ultimately barely any changes will happen. So adding way too much testosterone from your dose will actually lower your transition rate and cost you your life, basically. Another thing is that there are different forms of testosterone. For the ones that don't know, usually on Instagram and online, you usually just see people taking T-shots. This is because most people take T-shots because the other forms are usually a higher dose of testosterone, and it is easier to manipulate how much you need if you need a lower dose or a higher dose without actually changing your whole prescription. There's actually gels and pads. Gels, you just take a gel type thing and you rub it on your stomach usually, and the pads, you stick a slight pad. It's kind of like those things people use for nicotine addiction. You stick it on your body somewhere, usually somewhere that's hidden, and it absorbs into your body. Now, the things that are downfalls with those two is that usually they do have a higher dose of testosterone. You are able to get them in low doses, but they are usually more expensive because they're rarer to have. Usually people that take shots transition to the pads or the gels after years, because let's be honest, taking a shot in the leg once a month is a lot. Another thing that's kind of sucky about the gels or the pads is that they do not transition as fast as the T-shots. They usually make your transition a little bit slower because the gels and the pads, they slowly absorb into your body, unlike the shot, which is injected into your body and runs right away. Even though this is good for people who have a lot of money to spare and they want to spend a little extra more on the gels or pads and they're afraid of needles, that's an option for you. Just remember that your transition will usually take a little bit slower than someone taking a shot. Not that that's a bad thing, even though, again, everyone's transition happens differently. Someone could get a little more hair than someone who's on the same amount of time frame. Now, overcoming the fear of shots, that's always a little bit difficult. But again, usually if you take a shot at least once a month, you do get used to it, but there are still people who are a little bit afraid. What I suggest for you, if you really want to take testosterone but you're afraid of needles, the gels and the pads are an option for you. Another thing is getting a professional to do it for you. And I suggest a professional to do it for you is because they will make sure they do not hit any veins, which is how blood clots can happen, is that you inject it into your veins by accident. A lot of trans people do this by accident. Usually nothing happens unless you do the full dose in your veins or your major artery in your legs or your butt. Sometimes you do the hip, but usually it's the leg or the buttocks. And if you do that, you will know right away you did it wrong because you will start coughing and be unable to breathe that well. But the chances of that happening are very rare, and that's only if you're doing it incorrectly. And sometimes you just gotta push yourself. You gotta be like, I'm not comfortable with the shot, but I will do whatever is needed to feel comfortable in my body. You just gotta do what you need to do. You just gotta do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this video was informative and helps a little bit of you people that are struggling with wanting to start testosterone because of the fear of the needles. And I hope I see you guys another time. I probably will. Where's my cat? And she got a new bow tie. That's all I have. Bye. Also, this is the snowstorm that's happening, and it's fucking April. Why is this happening?